Look at these other podcasts out here with a point. Doing interviews, trying to educate you, or change the world. No, we don't do that here. Here, we look around, see things, go places, do things, and round up the best so you can forget the rest. Here, we rank 'em up.
Hello and welcome to Rank 'em Up. Welcome back. I'm Craig. We've got Lilo with us. Lilo, how you doing?
Hey man, I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
We have Gilberto with us. Gilberto, what's up?
Hello, I am full of energy today.
Oh boy.
He's got a cup of coffee there. We'll see how this goes. And Don. Don, hi, how you doing?
I'm well. I am doing great.
Is your throat okay?
Yeah, I know. Sorry, I did a little inside joke. Anyway, whatever.
Whatever, dude. Today we have a good show for us, and it was suggested by one of our best listeners. I think I can call her one of our best listeners. She listens all the time. She texts me about the shows all the time. She doesn't want to put it on Twitter sometimes because I don't know. She says she doesn't want to sometimes, but she talks about the show all the time.
Thank you.
And she's on the peanut butter chocolate side, so yes, perfect. She's a perfect listener.
She has flaws. We'll put it that way.
She knows, and from what you've told me, she knows us very well.
Yes.
She is. She's a fan of the Gilberto.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm waving very energetic here, so thank you.
That would be at Kristen B128. She suggested this topic today. So we are taking on Olympic moments. The top 5 Olympic moments.
Doom, 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 doom.
Can you hear the music now? Yes.
No.
Whenever I hear that music,
We're
by the
gonna
way.
get sued.
I know. We can only do like 2 seconds of it.
Yeah, right. That's all I got.
Whenever I hear that music, though, and then I see Bob Costas' grill on TV, I'm like, oh, this is going to be a good night.
It's on.
Was it the last Olympics when he got pink eye and he had?
It was.
He had the weird eye. That might be one of my moments.
That was awful.
He plowed through with the
That
pink
is
eye.
a nightmare. It is a nightmare.
But it was like, but what made it worse was that seeing Bob Costas with pink eye on HD TVs was nauseating.
Yeah.
Like you could see like trails of junk leaking out of his face. You're like, Bob Costas, come on, man.
I mean there's got to be a replacement, right?
Yeah, Matt. Yeah.
Respect,
Imagine
dude,
if it was 4K TV like they're gonna have in the next Olympics
geez.
next year.
That would have been awful.
That'd have been.
You could see like the texture.
Is there no bullpen they could go to? Is Bob all they got?
Right.
I mean, they're
Dan
NBC,
Patrick.
right?
I think Dan Patrick got the call up.
Yeah, he did. You're right, actually.
Oh, nice.
I love Dan Patrick.
Well, we're here to rank our top Olympic moments. So that's what we're going to do. And how should we start this off today? Let's see. Who was the last person to watch a video on YouTube?
Ooh, I watched one like minutes before.
I watched one right before we started the show here.
That's a dead toss. You know what? I'll concede.
All right, Don.
Okay.
You can start. But before we do, because Kristen suggested this topic, we want to hear more of suggested topics. How can they go ahead and do that?
Well, you can find us on Twitter, and that's where we get a lot of social interaction, and that's at Rank 'em Up, RANKEMUP. And then Facebook, we have a group at Rank 'em Up, Rank 'em Up on Facebook, Facebook.com/Rank 'em Up. We are new to Stitcher. I don't know what that is. I've never used it, but if you go there and you're an Android person, I don't know any of these people, but you can go there and find us on Stitcher, and of course, our YouTube channel where you have the whole archives of Rank 'em Up.
Lilo, what is this Stitcher?
The Stitcher would be a podcast app made primarily for Android users, simply because Android users don't have a native podcasting app. So if you're like me and like your Android devices, check us out on Stitcher.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, my number 5, and it's been a tough couple of years for Subway, okay?
That's a great segue right there.
Speaking of Olympic moments.
So, well, of course, they get all the Olympic athletes, Michael Phelps, Anastasia Lukin, what's the other chick?
They had the short track speed skater guy.
Yeah.
What was his name?
Oh, Apollo Ono.
Anton Ono.
Yeah, he was cool.
Oh, that's right.
I swear he was like Dan and Dan. He never lived up to like the hype of, we see him in every commercial. He's supposed to be good, right? Like Tiger Woods.
Didn't he win something? I thought he won.
He won. I thought he won a few events.
He was no Dan Jansen, okay?
Well, I mean,
he's no Bonnie
You're
Blair.
supposed to laugh at that one, Gilberto, just to let you know.
I was.
You know who Dan Jansen is?
Of course, everybody knows who Dan Jansen is.
Yes, everybody does know who Dan Jansen is, but you're the person that laughs at my jokes. That was a good one.
This wasn't scripted, okay? Come on.
Caberto is going to have a really...
Kev, you missed your cues,
I'm
man.
sorry.
I know.
Caberto's Olympic moments are going to be really different, I swear.
Drink your coffee.
Anyway,
Drink your coffee.
Catch up,
with
Caberto.
22 medals, including 18 gold medals, Michael Phelps, he wins every time. Like, he just wins. He's a winner. And
That's
he's
true.
coming back next year, by the way, to Rio.
Is he really?
Yes.
Jeez.
I don't know. He's not going to do, like, the full schedule, but I guess he's going to have a couple races. But I just like watching the United States win, and he's a goofy guy that he partakes in marijuana. You know, we're in Colorado, whatever. So, and, you know, I just like Michael Phelps. Maybe he drives drunk sometime. Whatever. Nobody's perfect, okay? Nobody's perfect, Caberto, right? Nobody's perfect.
All right, Caberto, you're number 5.
Well, this was a bit tough for me because the Olympics in... Yes?
You have to take away... You can't do... There's no Winter Olympics, right? Because, you know...
We had one guy compete that wasn't exactly
Was he
Mexican.
wearing the, like, tuxedo with the
mariachi
Yeah,
ski suit.
He did. That was awesome.
That was pretty awesome.
He should have worn a real suit. That would have been better. But.
That would have been cool, but I don't know. I don't think it would have been accepted. Anyway, so we are usually in Mexico, and I follow all of the Mexican as much as I can competitions or wherever they participate in. It's kind of hard for me to point out acknowledged moments. So I did have to go outside of my box. And remember, hearing these stories in different classes while growing up and hearing it told by many different people was very inspiring. And I'm talking, and it's very mainstream maybe, I'm talking about the 1936 Olympics, Jesse Owens moment when he, just showed up Hitler and the Nazi regime. And, this is a very... interesting Olympic moment in history.
That's a big one.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of makes my list feel small and inconsequential.
So Jesse Owens is it.
Jesse Owens, yes.
Nice.
Do you think next year, or in when's it going to be in Russia? Or it was in Russia last year. Do you think that's going to be kind of the same moment since Russia, is taking over Ukraine and going into Syria? They're doing all these other things. You think that's going to be similar with like Putin being around and the whole thing? I'm not saying it's all the way, Holocaust, whatever. Just kind of similar, like that's in the new world where we don't get crazy over the top world wars, but
I think Putin's going to be in the Olympics.
He might.
All right, my number 5.
Equestrian.
Yeah, except he'll show up with a bear.
He had the shirt. He took those pictures on the horse with no shirt.
He'll show up on a bear and be like, "Yes, I ride equestrian."
Scared. That'd be funny.
All right, my number 5. In the year of our Lord, 1988, the United States had a disappointment in one of their events in the Olympics, and it was finishing third. We win stuff in the USA. We win things. We don't like finishing third, especially when it's a game we invented.
Oh,
And that didn't sit very well with the United States basketball folks. And so they petitioned, or they didn't, but FIBA, the International Basketball Association, petitioned that professionals should be allowed to play basketball in the Olympics. And so it happened after some much deliberation. The USA was actually against it, but it happened. And so USA decided, we're going to win this thing. And they put together the greatest sports team ever assembled.
ever
Assembled. That would be the 1992 Dream Team.
Oh my gosh.
That team had so much hype around it, and it was right in the wheelhouse of when I was watching and paying attention of things in my younger years. And oh man, that team! I could run through the roster for you, but it's ridiculous. The team that this guy
Christian Leitner was on that team.
that was one of the reasons why I love that team.
Oh, you like Duke?
I did like Duke as a kid.
Oh, look at you.
Coach K was the coach. He had to bring his boy Christian Leitner.
Of course.
I mean, you had David Robinson, Patrick Ewing, Larry Bird, Scottie Pippen, Michael Jordan, Clyde Drexler, Karl Malone, John Stockton, Chris Mullin, Charles Barkley, and now we're getting to the big boys. We had, it didn't print, but Michael Jordan,
Scottie Pippen.
Scottie
Pippen, yep.
I mean, it was crazy good, that team.
That team was so well balanced, it was disgusting. Like, you had shooters, you had inside guys, you had everybody.
Didn't they win by like 55 points a game
That
or
team
something?
won by an average of 44 points.
44.
Yeah.
An average of 44 points in the Olympics. And they destroyed Croatia in the gold medal game. And it was a crowning achievement of what our actual best athletes could do.
Poor Croatia.
It was fantastic.
Poor Croatia.
1992 Dream Team. I love that
The thing
team.
I remember from that is the Lithuania uniforms, which were crazy. Like, if you think of a paint specialist at the Home Depot, that's what they just put that on a basketball uniform. That's what it looked like.
I remember the crazy shaped key that was like, it's like kind of a cone, but
Trapezoidal.
not- yeah.
Yeah. They still use that in international play.
I think they still do.
The trapezoid.
I like the trapezoid. I'm
I
a
do too.
trapezoid traditionalist.
I do like
think
the
the NBA
trapezoid.
should go to that, but
They
you know,
should too. All right, that's my number 5, the 1992 Dream Team.
maybe the Western
Nice.
Conference can do trapezoid and the Eastern Conference can do regular.
I like it.
Sounds like a plan. So speaking of Murica,
America.
because Murica, my number 5 moment was actually from a Winter Olympics.
I was
don't
wondering if
remember-
we would get any Winter Olympics ones.
Yeah, I've got.
Because it seems like that's the little brother in the Olympic.
There's just so many more.
It's
summer.
true.
There's so many more events.
Yeah, the Summer Olympic has a bigger roster than the Winter Olympics, and I mean, you can only watch figure skating so much, and downhill skiing, and yeah. But with like new events coming up every year, like half pipe.
I
and-
love this.
They got the crazy snowboarding things going
Yeah,
on now.
it's basically
Snowboard
like
race.
yeah, it's basically the X Games, just fully international.
For my culture, that's rich people sports.
Dang.
And
I don't even know.
There you go.
Everybody now.
All right,
There
number
you go.
5.
All right,
Lilo.
cheers.
So my number 5. So because Murica, my number 5 is the ever infamous Nance Kerrigan versus Tanya Harding.
Dang it.
Knee clubbing. Why, God? Why? Why? It was so it was such a. I don't even know. Right? It was America on America hate at that point, and
It was like a play of itself, basically.
it really was. It was just like the ultimate, almost dramedy for the Winter Olympics for that year because you had Tanya Harding and you had Nancy Kerrigan, and both were pretty good skaters to make it all the way to the Winter Olympics.
Tanya
I mean,
Harding was the national champion.
yeah,
She was technically, allegedly better. Allegedly.
right, and she felt so threatened by Nancy Kerrigan that she had to club her in the knee.
Jeff Gillooly.
She hired goons to do it.
Jeff Gillooly was
Right.
her husband, and then he hired a guy.
Yeah, just took her out
Gillooly.
at the knee.
Gillooly. That was a verb back then, too. Whatever.
It was such a ridiculous moment in Olympic history that I think it was so overhyped and everything was so ridiculous about it that made my number 5 spot. Because even as a kid, I remember watching the footage of Nancy Kerrigan getting clubbed down in the hallway and her utter reaction afterwards, and all the Tanya Harding's a monster, and then she kind of fell off the face of the planet, and so did actually Nancy Kerrigan. So
Even though she got clubbed, she played it up a little bit, right?
yeah,
I mean, it was a little much.
it was pretty. That's the dramedy of the whole thing was that she just the why God why
She still made it to the Olympics. It was okay.
She still skated.
yeah. But then they both disappeared into obscurity. So what good did that do anybody?
That's true.
None.
No.
Okay, there you go. Number 5.
All right, Don, you're number 4.
Number 4, 2000, Sydney. And it's a guy from, he's kind of local. He's within the region, and that's Rulon Gardner. He's from Wyoming. And he won the gold medal. And he won a gold medal in the heavyweight wrestling, Roman Greco or whatever. And he beat a guy. His name was Alexander Karolin. And apparently this was the greatest upset in wrestling history, Olympic wrestling history. He was 3-time defending gold medalist. This Karolin. He had never lost a match. He didn't lose a point for 6 years leading up to that final. He didn't lose a point.
Wow.
He had a move. He was called the Russian Bear, and he would basically, I mean, if you watch WWF, WWE, he would suplex a guy, and he was so strong they only like lightweights could do that, and he was a heavyweight guy. You know, he was so strong he'd pick up guys and like basically smash their shoulders into the mat, and he went back to when it was like, so what was it? It was 2000. So in 88, that was when Russia or USSR still had a team. So he made it through the unified 88 with Russia, unifieds, and then when Russia became their own place. So he technically won golden medals with 3 different countries, and then he won the silver medal. But Rulon Gardner, this guy, and he's had a crazy life story since then. He got frostbite.
Yeah, he lost a couple toes, didn't he?
Had his toes amputated.
Yeah.
Went on TV making money on the Biggest Loser.
Yep.
You know, he's all over the place. Rulon Gardner, though, man, that was amazing. I watched that, and yeah. It was awesome. America, man. Beat Russia again. Rocky IV. He was Ivan Drago.
He's a great
Alexander Carolyn was Ivan Drago. And Rulon Gardner was gigantic.
Great American hero.
Huge, massive Rocky Balboa.
Funny looking Rocky Balboa. Yep.
I
So there you go.
will break you.
Number 4, 2000 gold medal.
That's pretty cool. Very cool.
Roberto, you're number 4.
My number 4. Well, this this was a Disney movie, of course. Hold on, but
You know the Mighty Ducks wasn't real, right?
Are you
Frozen?
serious? Are you serious? I'm kidding. Okay, and after confirming that it wasn't just a movie, of course, I know. It did make me believe that obstacles weren't impossible to overcome. And you know what?
I believe I can fly.
I am talking about the 1988 Jamaican bobsled team.
Oh my goodness.
You know what? What do you want
Those
from
guys
me?
were awesome.
What do you want from me?
The movie made it even better.
It was.
First
It
of all,
was.
John Candy, one of the 5 dead people I would definitely want to have a beer with. John Candy. That was like
There
his
you go.
almost last movie.
There you go.
I think it was his last movie.
I won't argue about that because it's not Bill Murray, but still,
What did they say before they got in the...
Feel the rhythm, feel the rock, something. Look how wild it's bobsled time.
Come on, guys.
There
It's
you
that
go.
time.
See,
Yeah.
see why you're laughing then? So,
Oh, I thought you were talking about something else, which was like,
No.
dude,
No, that's a great movie.
Yeah,
I
so-
like that movie.
so
I like
there
that
you go.
movie.
Cool Runnings, and it's a Bob Marley
Cool
song.
Runnings,
Do you know
yep.
how many Bob Marley songs are like titles of movies? Many.
many.
Rat Race. Remember Rat Race?
One.
That's a Bob Marley song. Cool
I know
Runnings.
one.
One Love.
Jamaica
One Love?
has a bobsled team or something like that, right?
Do you know the current Jamaican bobsled team? The main dude, the head guy of it, lives and works in Wyoming.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
That's so great.
Yeah.
Was he on the football team?
I don't know.
That'd be awesome. Whatever though. So yeah.
So there you go. That was my number
There's
4.
many Bob Marley songs that are movie titles. Just look it up.
Somebody will tweet it to us.
Salmon.
Yeah.
How do they tweet it?
Go to Rank 'em Up at Rank 'em Up on Twitter, and you can find us all there.
My stories get better. My top 3 get better.
All right.
So.
Well, my number 4 comes from the year 1996, which was a great Olympics anyway, because it was here in the USA, in Atlanta. There was lots of things going on in that Olympics. Muhammad Ali lit the torch, which was cool. It was an awesome moment. They had the bombing. You remember the bombing at Olympic Park in
Yeah,
Atlanta?
I watched the
Oh,
30.
yeah.
The 30 for 30 on that one is amazing because it's like how they crucified the security guard who saved all these people.
Right, exactly.
And they didn't even nobody retracts their story after like 6 months, so people still believed.
It was cool. I was a young man of 15 years old. I was watching this thing intently, and I was watching the gymnasts, and there was the USA team was trying to win Team Olympic gold for USA Gymnastics for the first time ever. The Russians were ahead, and a young little girl named, I wouldn't call her a girl, young woman, a young woman
Excuse me?
called Carrie Strug attempted the first try at a vault, and she hurt her ankle. But she had to do it. She had to attempt it a second time in
Yep.
order to win the gold for the USA. She goes to her coach, and she gets a
Bella Caroli.
Bella
Bella
Caroli.
Caroli.
Bella Caroli talks her up. She runs it down the vault laying on one foot and sticks the landing.
Sticks it.
Carrie Strug sticks the landing in 1996. USA wins gold,
medal.
and it was really cool.
Didn't she break her ankle?
I don't know what actually she happened.
Heavily sprained it.
Heavily sprained. something.
Heavily sprained.
It's like one of those high ankle sprains where your bones in your leg try to come apart.
And Bella Caroli carries her off the mat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
Oh man, who didn't cry? Who didn't have a dry eye?
Right.
Nobody.
yeah,
Yeah.
Don't
There
even
was
lie,
not a dry eye
Quebec.
in
Don't lie.
America.
America, and we won, champions.
Oh, yeah. Aw, yeah.
That's my number 4,
All we do is win.
Carrie Strug.
Okay. So, my number 4 The story that you might be familiar with, especially since Craig just told it. Kerry Strug's gold medal win.
Hey, there you go.
Hey!
What was that?
That was very impactful.
It was super
Yes, it was.
impactful. I mean, I will admit that as a teenage boy at 15, I've kind of watched gymnastics for a slightly different reason.
Yeah, we may not have been watching it for the same reason.
Right.
You know?
I mean,
And that's exactly why I cannot watch it today, which I feel creeped out by watching it today, but whatever.
okay.
Prior
Agreed.
motivations. That is all.
Yeah, I most definitely did not watch it for the handsprings or the floor
Carrie Strug's hair
exercises.
was weird, by the way. She had
Well,
like
it was
bomb
like
hair.
it was like early '90s. It was like
she had mom
transitional.
hair.
Yeah,
She already had mom hair, and she was like 15.
right. But she talked like she was 7.
I love me some Shannon Miller though. Who didn't like
Yeah, who didn't like Shannon Miller? Let's be honest.
Nobody
I was
know.
a fan of the Dominique Moceanu.
I remember.
Yeah, Dominique.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
That team, man, that team. As a 15-year-old boy, geez,
Good times.
good times.
On the Wheaties box and everything.
Yeah, your number
I-
4 is the same, huh?
I did save the Wheaties box. We'll leave it at that.
Michael Phelps was on the Wheaties box also. Moving on to number 3.
Number right.
All right, man. There was a Disney movie about this too, which I thought Kiberto was talking about. That's why I made the Mighty Ducks crack.
Oh.
But no, man, it's amazing. It was one of the United States beats the communists again. You know what I'm saying? It's a good,
Seems to be a common theme here.
Yeah, the Olympics are a great time for America to really flex
basically
their
against
muscle.
world powers, and now China's trying to rise up to be. Although they did cheat in gymnastics.
Yeah, their girls
Yeah.
weren't old
Cheated.
enough.
Yeah,
cheated.
because their girls were like 25.
What the heck, man? No, they were too young.
They were too young.
They
Oh,
were
that's
too
right. They were
young.
too young.
Yeah.
Because when they're younger, they're more
They're
flexible.
bendy.
Yeah, and they figured out they cheated. They didn't do anything about it, though, so whatever. The United States should have got a medal in that. Anyway, Herb Brooks was the man. He was the coach. Capitalism over communism. 1980 Lake Placid Games. And that's when even though it was in America, all of the Olympic coverage was always taped and played back later. So basically nobody saw it live, and the people in the stadium, they're not getting the word out. There was no cell phones.
Yeah, there was no social media back
So,
then.
yeah, it had to wait till that night. And Al Michaels, of course, Do You Believe in Miracles? With that call. Probably the best sports call, at least in American history. Whatever. So, and that wasn't even the finals. They didn't even win the gold medal off of that.
I think that's the biggest misconception
Yeah.
about the Miracle on Ice is that that wasn't for the championship. They still had to win another game after
Although
that.
Russia,
Right.
But beating Russia in hockey at that time was, that's a great, giant accomplishment. And then that was when Russia still wouldn't let their players come to the United States. So it's like the only time that the guys on, U.S. team would ever see them is in the Olympics or the World Cup or whatever they call it in hockey. So, and they beat Finland in the final, but Do You Believe in Miracles, U.S. Hockey, Herb Brooks, a bunch of upstart young men. They were all really young, under 20, 24, 25 or something like that. And, there you go.
Nice.
1980 U.S. Hockey,
That's very.
gold medal moment.
Speaking of like political, reasons here, my number 3 is very extremely political because up to today, I am still seeing results or consequences of this movement. And
General Santa Anna had a part to do with the Olympics?
well, not necessarily, but the 1968 Mexico Olympics,
Oh,
there was
yeah.
an event, and
I
it
feel
was
bad for that joke.
the
now,
beginning
sorry.
of, in many people's opinion, about why that country is the way it is today. The government massacred university students, and the people taking a stand and questioning the government about the country's state, and because of that time, we even second generation Mexican Americans, third generations are here. That's why they're here, because of that country's state, economically, as a culture. And so the Tlatelolco event, 1968 Olympics, the beginning of that Olympics event is when this happened. And, I am a result of this. So there you go.
Nice.
Didn't your parents come in the 90s?
Yeah, but they came for a better life, Don. Come on, man.
No, everybody knows that.
Wow.
Come on.
Just let him have a story.
Right.
Come on.
Dang, just step all over that one, don't you?
Jeez.
Jeez.
Oh,
Can't let him have one story.
It's a good story, Keberto. That's why you're the favorite.
Yeah.
That's why you're the favorite.
I need a shot now.
All right, my number 3. Don kind of mentioned it, but I have a more specific actual event. He just said a name, so I'll actually say the event. And that was in 2008. That was there was a lot of hype for this guy, for Michael Phelps, because in 2004, Michael Phelps won 6 gold medals. He got 2 bronze. So there was a real thought that going into the next Olympics in 2008, he had a chance to break Mark Spitz's record of 7 gold medals in 1972, which was the all-time gold medal winner in an individual Olympics. And so in 2008, there was a real shot for Michael Phelps to do it. And there was so much hype going into that. The Subway commercials, he was all over the place. On the Today Show,
Tell you what, man.
Couldn't get away from Michael Phelps.
it was Michael Phelps' world, and we were living in
And
it.
his 8-foot wingspan.
And it got even worse when he actually did it, because he was all over the place after that, too.
Right.
Yeah. So he actually did it. He won 8 gold medals in 2008. All 8 golds. All 8 events he was in, he won. Included some relays and stuff, too. But he won 8 gold medals, and it was awesome. And I was glued to the TV every time they were like on Michael Phelps watch on the NBC
Yes.
coverage. Michael Phelps will be swimming in 25 minutes. And I would be sure to watch, and it was awesome.
It was like the Olympic equivalent to the Red Zone channel.
Pretty
Like,
much, yeah.
Anything that was going on, if Michael Phelps did anything, it like cut immediately to Michael Phelps.
They show him with the little squeegee towel in the next room.
Yeah.
You're right.
You know, it's the all Michael Phelps camera. Oh, he's in the warming up pool, and he's got this little mini towel that he's drying off with.
Yeah. What are you doing, Michael
Yeah.
Phelps?
Anyway, that was fun. I had a good time watching that and tracking to make sure he won those 8 gold medals.
Yeah. That was a good time.
18 gold medals overall. 18. Just think of the trophy case you could have with that.
Well, they're not very big.
Yeah, I was gonna say
You could put them in a drawer.
you could stack them up.
What if you wore them all at the same time? I would wear them all at the same time.
I think he
At least
did for a
once.
Wheaties box. Or no, that's when he won 8. He wore all 8.
Yeah, he wore all. He looked like Mr. T if he wore all of them.
I know. Baller.
He'd be like, he couldn't move his neck.
Yeah.
He weighed down.
All right, Lilo, you're number 3.
All right, my number 3. Craig had actually kind of alluded to this earlier during the Olympics, Olympic year for Kerry Strug's gold medal thing. But my number 3 event is Muhammad Ali's Atlanta Olympics torch lighting. I think it was just so cool because, if I remember right, there wasn't a ton of hype around it. And when he finally did appear, I mean, like all the stories behind Muhammad Ali, first of all, right? Just a legend at boxing. And then to see him kind of come out and looking a little old and frail, and then just to have him be at like the most poignant moment in the Olympics when he lights the torch, I think that was just so cool. Like I think even as a young boy or as a teenager, I got goosebumps because I knew like the legacy behind him, and
Yeah.
then just seeing him now and lighting the torch and starting the Olympics was just fantastic. I thought that was incredible.
It's interesting because he won a gold medal in boxing, but he threw it in the river
That's strange.
in a political protest, which obviously
Oh, well, then
made a
that's
lot
good.
of changes.
Yeah.
When he,
Didn't they reissue him one, though,
yes, they
later
did.
on? Yeah.
Yes, they did.
They did.
That's good. I also remember him for the Thrilla in Manila. Because I'm Filipino. That's a shot, guys. Let's go ahead and drink on that one.
That was a great. When he had the little gorilla. By the way, he would be crucified in social media if he did that today. I don't care if they're both African American. If you got a gorilla and you start punching it and saying that's George Foreman, what would happen? What would happen now?
That wouldn't fly today.
Yeah, that would not fly
First
today.
Stephen A. Smith and what's his face? It would be over. Their heads would explode.
Rick Bayless.
Their heads would explode.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Or not Rick Bayless. The cook wouldn't care.
Yeah.
Skip Bayless. He might.
Rick Bayless actually likes Mexico a lot.
He does.
Probably have some Mexican Olympic moments that he remembers. What was I going to say?
You're on your number 2 there,
I know
Don.
what Muhammad Ali calls Louisville the greatest city in the world.
Well, he's from there, isn't he?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that'll do it. That will do it.
All right,
Like
fine.
Johnny Unitas.
So, all right, well, you know what? I'm not even saying the punchline then.
All right, sorry. You stepped all over his story. I'll
You
step
did.
on your joke.
Right.
Thank
I
you.
know why Muhammad Ali calls Louisville the greatest city in the world
Why?
because the strip clubs are the best.
Oh.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right. All right, my number 2. So
Okay.
Sorry.
it's more of a guy joke. This really isn't a guy joke atmosphere. Although Kiberto thought it was funny. I don't know.
I think he's laughing at you, not with you.
Right. If you want to send comments or feedback, or can we do that again?
Get out of my face, Kiberto.
If you want to tell us a good joke, send it to Ring 'em Up.
Well, I usually say that joke when we start talking about the strip clubs in Denver because they're garbage compared to Louisville or Atlanta or even
Just
Los
as a
Angeles.
point of clarification, we don't usually talk about the strip clubs in Denver.
And we don't really
True
go to
story.
them. And we don't really go to them that much because they are okay. And so I remember during the 1998 Winter Olympics, we were going to the mountains in the weekend, and me and my brother, we forced my mom to stay Friday night so we could watch this event. And that would be the gold medal women's all around, whatever, singles skating. And one Tara Lipinski, who is exactly 1 year older than me. And I don't remember ever doing this for anything else, which is whatever. So
I kind of want to stop you there.
why?
Right.
I'm just kidding.
I wanted to watch Tara Lipinski win the gold, and she did. And she was the youngest woman to ever win the gold.
She was great.
And
She was really amazing.
I think it was Katarina Witt's last performance or something like that too. So, she's so hot. Even today, man. Even today. And
Wait,
Tara Lipinski
Katerina
is
or Tara Lipinski?
Katarina.
Okay.
Katarina. Her 30 for 30 on ESPN is amazing. Amazing. It was like East Berlin, West Berlin stuff.
Oh, wow.
And I love Cold War, anything. Which is why I would suggest go see the movie Bridge of Spies with Tom Hanks. Anyway,
Olympic moments.
1998, Nagano, Japan. Tara Lipinski beat Michelle Kwan, who was everybody's gold medal favorite. Michelle Kwan never to win the gold.
Poor Michelle.
Poor Michelle Kwan.
Don't feel bad. I heard some stories because that's the one that went to DU, right?
I believe so, yeah.
And then, yeah. Anyway, so whatever. Tara Lipinski, man. And by the way, she still looks good. And she does the commentary in the Olympics with Johnny Weir, who is the weirdest person ever. He wears the craziest outfits to be a commentator.
Yeah, he does.
Like,
he
he
puts
was
the
the-
weird and weird.
He was the
He does.
inspiration
He
for
does.
the movie. Oh man, what's the movie? You know the figure skating movie I'm talking about.
It's like
with,
he and Bjork share a closet.
Oh, man, that's so true.
Napoleon Dynamite and
Blades of Glory.
Yeah, Blades of Glory with what's his
Will
face?
Ferrell?
Will Ferrell. and
Will
him.
Ferrell, yeah.
He was like the inspiration for the whole entire outfits.
I can see that. I can see that. That was a
Man.
good movie.
And like Johnny Weir, dude, he does him, man. He just does him, and he's whatever. He does him. That's it.
What does that song even mean?
Kiberto, you're number 2.
Yes, my number 2. You mentioned.
Hold on.
What?
We are in the broadcasting industry, and I'm telling you right now, from what I have observed in a decade of doing this, they are really good at their job.
They
That's
are
all
good.
I'm saying.
They wear funny outfits, but their content is
true.
actually
Tara
good.
Lipinski is still hot, so there you go. She'll probably be, she's the same age range, so as I grow older, she would probably still be the same hotness. My whole entire life.
That's why I wanted to stop his story
What?
at that
I
moment.
like Tara Lipinski. You got a
Okay.
problem with
All
that?
right.
That was a good effort, Kiberto. Good effort.
Thank you. My number 2. I'm just kidding.
Good try, good effort.
Right. A+ for effort on that one.
My number 2, Craig, you mentioned the 1996 Olympics in Atlanta. I do remember that, bombing incident and the, what do you call it? I don't remember, I do remember that gymnastics moment, but it didn't grab my attention as much as Michael Johnson and his golden shoes. That was the talk of summer school because I didn't really like school. So I spent a lot of time in summer school. Anyway, so, we did have that break. We did like to run and, chase girls or whatever. And we want to do it, whoever did it the fastest, So thinking of this topic and remembering what the top 5 moments or Olympic moments, this brought back a lot of memories of my childhood and, so yes.
I like Michael Johnson. You remember when they settled with that guy and he did a 200-meter race?
They did 150 meters.
Yeah, and then he pulled up lame, and I'm like, no, come on, man.
Yeah.
You pulled up lame. You knew you were going to lose. No.
Yeah.
No.
So
Yeah, they did 150 because the guy was a 100
Who
meter
did he
sprinter.
who did he race? I
I
forget.
can't remember.
Can't remember.
But my number 2 is the same one, Michael Johnson in 1996. Basically, what happened was he was trying to win the 200 and the 400 meter races, which had never been done before by a male athlete.
Oh.
And he ran the 400 and he won gold, set an Olympic record to do it. And I think it was 2 days later, which I guess is not very much rest after you only run one lap around the track. But apparently it's not that much rest. And you had to run the 200 meters, and he stumbled out of the blocks for the 200 meters. So everybody thought he was going to lose, but he made up so much ground in the second half of that 200-meter race, set the world record at 19:32, which was 0.3 of a second better than the previous record, which, if you know racing or even if you don't, 0.3 of a second,
That's a lot.
huge. It's the biggest margin that any record has ever been broken in
big deal.
that distance.
It's a big deal.
So he crushed the record. And just to think what he could have done if he didn't stumble out of the block a little bit, he would have demolished that record.
Just like a completely unattainable world record at that point.
There was so much hype going into those races, and then he comes out with his gold shoes that nobody knew about, and you're like, oh my gosh.
Right, what are you doing? What are you
The
doing?
hair on your arms just stood up when you see the gold shoes.
Yes, I remember
You're like, this
that.
dude is going to crush it.
Yep.
And then he just blew everybody out of the water in that 200-meter race.
Yeah.
Just crushed them.
I would love to see, like, if we could do like a revisionist history situation, I would love to see Michael Johnson in his prime versus Usain Bolt.
It'd be crazy.
I think that would be just a nuts race because, I mean, Usain Bolt is ridiculously fast. Michael Johnson had like a really weird running style.
Donovan Bailey.
Donovan Bailey.
Wasn't he
That's right.
Canadian?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Ontario.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think that'd be a really cool race
Yeah.
to watch between the two of them.
Well, Michael Johnson winning in 96, both the 200 and 400 golds, which had never been done before.
Do you guys know anybody that spray painted their shoes gold?
I wrote with Sharpies on my
I know a couple
shoes
of
back in the day.
Mexicans that
People at my school,
Their
and
cleats,
then some
soccer
people
cleats.
and my cousins in New Mexico, and I'm like, I guess everybody's doing this. But
That's so
I didn't have
awesome.
the balls to do it.
I knew I wasn't very fast, and it would just look stupid. So
Why are you wearing those gold shoes?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't make me faster. They light up though.
Right.
There you go. There's my number 2.
Hype beast. All right. Number 2 for me was a little bit more recent Summer Olympics. This one's kind of special for a couple different reasons, actually. So it's Missy Franklin. Missy Franklin was my number 2 slot. Here's why. So first of all, she's from Colorado. Second of all, she's an alumnus of Regis High School.
Wait. So you acknowledge that the girls' division exists?
I will acknowledge it for Missy Franklin.
I make no exceptions. It does not exist.
How many gold medalists since 2000 have there been from the boys' side, Craig?
There is no boy side.
Mm-hmm.
There has been 0 from Regis.
There's this.
I take a hard line on this.
There is some controversy right there.
All right.
So yes, I personally, I'm not going to speak for Craig on this one because obviously there is a hard line that he drew, not in sand, in concrete.
It's in cement.
There's
It
no
is in
Reese's peanut butter
cement.
cups over there either.
Yeah.
Yes, so Missy Franklin. I will make the exception that there is a girls' division for Missy Franklin. But yeah, it was just incredible. She was such an incredible swimmer, and then watching her do the backstroke, which was her jam essentially, and then just crushing all the competition, and then going on to win. What was it, like six medals?
I have no idea.
4 gold medals, I think.
Yeah, Craig, you
2
probably
bronze.
wouldn't count that one. So
I don't know what you're talking about.
yeah, so 2012 London Olympics, Missy Franklin, my number 2 slot, because Missy Franklin's awesome. Regis alum. I'm going to go ahead on record and say that.
Melissa Jeanette Franklin.
Out of here.
She won 5 medals, 4 golds and a.
We don't need that.
4 golds and a bronze.
We had an alumni that was in the last World Cup. We had an alumni in the last Rugby World Cup. We're good.
We also had an alumni that started a composting company
Yeah, we did, actually.
from our class.
We know him.
We know that guy.
Done. It's a number 1 time.
Number 1 has already been talked about by 2 people.
Do you have any
because-
honorable mentions first before we go
Oh,
to
yeah,
number
honorable
1?
mentions. We already talked about them. Nancy Kerrigan. I didn't want to put that in my top moments because it was like bad, and we want to talk about this. But anyway, talk about the Tanya Harding sex tape and all that. She was like
What?
She was one of the pioneers of the sex tape. You guys knew that, right?
She also had a boxing career, didn't she?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. She was on that
Yeah.
celebrity boxing.
Very short.
did, yeah.
Very short. I also had the 96 Vault by Kerry Strug, which was amazing. Amazing. There's no dries in the house, no matter what Kiberto says.
That was great.
That was awesome.
2012 Olympics gymnastics. The women's team, of course, won the gold, the team gold. 2008 Anastasia Lewinkin. I don't know. She was hot, so whatever. That's what I remember about her. She's an honorable mention.
Well, that's
and
a
she
top
won a
Olympic
gold
one.
medal. She won a
Right.
gold medal too. So anyway, that kind of justified that. But my number one, and I think I was 8 years old when this happened, but it was the Dream Team '92. Man, Michael Jordan, Larry Bird. You know,
Christian Leitner?
Christian
Christian
I didn't
Laettner?
Christian Laettner
John
shouldn't have been on
Stockton?
the team. Christian Laettner should not have
No,
been,
he
on,
should
the
have been on the
team.
team.
No.
Shaquille O'Neal didn't need to be
First
on
of
that
all,
team. Isaiah Thomas didn't need to be on that team. Christian Leitner deserved that team.
Isaiah Thomas, I'll agree, but that's just because of everything that Isaiah Thomas has done since he left basketball, which has ruined everything that he's touched, including the New York Knicks. And it's funny, and just really quick, he got a $15 million sexual harassment judgment against him through the Knicks. Knicks had to pay this woman. And you know what he does now? He runs the New York Liberty, which is owned by James Dolan, which is the WNBA team.
It's
Who
the
allowed that?
It's the women's team.
It's the women's team.
Who
Yeah.
allowed that?
The owner James Dolan loves Isaiah Thomas, so he wants to give him a job. There you go.
There you go.
That's what you do. You,
He runs the women's. You can't make it up.
settle a harassment suit and then you put them with the women's
You
team.
can't make it up. So yeah, I like the '92 Dream Team, man. And then the '96 team kind of they tried to do it, but no. And now,
Yeah.
actually, that spawned the rest of the world. I think trying at basketball. And now, look, we got the Gasol brothers.
Yep.
Brazil. Some tries a little bit, although they
Argentina
suck.
got good.
Argentina.
Argentina
Ginobili,
is actually good because they have world class players there.
You
Not
have
just-
some like European Northern Bloc and
not
players.
babies, and even Mexico is okay. We got Eduardo Nájera. That's Kiberto's hero.
What about Gustavo Ayon?
Duh, everybody knows
Forget
him.
him.
Gustavo Ayon
Yeah.
is good. He is.
And he plays on what? He plays on the 76ers?
He plays for the Real Madrid, I believe.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. Be an NBA team.
Okay.
Nicolas Skidisvili still plays over there, so okay.
All right, you're number
Cool.
one, Kemberto.
I do not have any honorable mentions. And of course, you guys can already imagine what my number one is. Maybe leave it alone, but you will right now.
Wait. Craig, do you know what he's talking about?
I know what he's talking
I have no idea what he's talking about. How
Yeah,
might
right.
I know your number one?
It's
the
there-
freaking stupid.
Hey. So okay,
Hang on.
I know what he's talking
I don't want anybody to think that I don't know what country I live in, because I do, and I do try. How do you say it? I bring income to the economy here. I am I believe a good citizen. But my heart in the sports world is in Mexico. You shut up your face, Don.
Whatever, man. I didn't say anything. I didn't say
But
anything.
you know what? Seeing my country of birth, suffer through these, corruption and all of this crime and all of this, stuff that really, takes away the hope from the people.
I walked the streets of Juarez when it was the murder capital of the world.
I know you've told me this story like 1,000 times.
It's a good story.
It is a good story, but you know what? After a decade of experiencing this, outrage of violence and crime in Mexico, our national sport is soccer. That's my favorite sport. 2012, the London Olympics, Mexico versus Brazil is that whole tournament for the Mexican soccer team was the one that brought hope and brought, sparkles to everybody's eyes and, excitement to everybody's hearts. And Mexico beat Brazil, who is a powerhouse in soccer. Maybe not as much as they were back in the 90s, but still, Mexico beating them was, just wonderful. And that is my number one most favorite moment, Olympic moment. So,
Well, you forgot the whole sale. It was in the gold medal game.
it wasn't the gold medal game. Sorry. They did win the gold medal.
Thanks, Craig.
That's kind of an important piece there.
Yeah, sorry. I just got really excited trying to describe this for everybody.
I could tell.
But yes, they won the gold medal. And in this category, it's a little difficult. So, that generation is still brings us some kind of hope for these next few Olympic Games and World Cups. So that Olympic moment is my favorite of all time.
Isn't the Gold Cup more prestigious than the Olympic gold medal?
Now it is because it has meaning. So it has.
Well, there you go.
So there you go. Yes.
I blame Kristen for this. That's what I do.
What the heck?
Thank you, Kristen.
Listen to that for-
Hashtag blame Kristen.
That's gonna be a
Thank
thing.
you. Yeah. All right, my number one. And thank you to Kristen B128 on Twitter for suggesting this show. And you can do that too if you.
At Rank 'em Up
Thank you.
on Twitter. Twitter/Rank 'em Up. At Rank 'em Up.
Now,
Rachel
what-
brought the mood down of the whole show
I
now.
know.
Everybody on this side of the table is asleep.
I'm like super excited here. Come
You
on.
didn't even name.
Yeah, okay.
You just said this is the country of my birth. I love Mexico. Mexico is the greatest.
I gave
the
you-
tournaments in Mexico.
And they
I
won
love
a game.
everything. They won. Oh my God.
They won a game. Oh yeah, it was the gold medal
Craig
game.
gave you a
Oh
moment
yeah, by the way.
when Kerry Strug made the vault with a basically broken ankle. She almost had to amputate.
Did you not
That was
hear,
the moment.
Hold on. Did you not
All right.
hear my explanation like in my top 5 or 4 where I said, you know what, I don't really follow the Olympics?
I'm just saying,
You
if,
know.
if you're going to put Jesse Owens on your list, and then it probably shouldn't be below the Mexico game.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I'm just saying, the story.
It has to be number
I'm
one.
saying the morale, the story, story of Jesse Owens. It's inspiring. What do you want? What do you guys? I put the Jamaican
Come on,
bobsled team on this. Come on.
Dear listeners,
They didn't even win anything.
Camberto is standing up, hands on hip, kind of sweating
I am
because he's so enthusiastic about this right
I
now.
think Camberto voted to do this just so we could talk about the Mexico soccer team.
I'm
and
pretty
didn't even
sure.
care
I did.
about the rest of it.
I did.
Okay.
I did. You know what? I did.
I feel like he just looked at an article and read the last four.
We can't do favorite donuts. We can't do favorite donuts, but you did this for stupid Mexico gold medal. You can't do favorite donuts. I want to do favorite donuts.
There's going to be a fight in the studio.
Please tell Camberto to do favorite donuts. I know you can come up with 5 favorite
You know
donuts.
what, Don? Now that I see what you're trying to do here. I am never, ever voting on
No, we're
favorite
doing
donuts.
No, we're doing favorite
So,
donuts. We're doing it.
Because of that, in spite of
We'll
Don's
fire
argument
you
here.
and bring in somebody else to do favorite donuts. I have no power to do that.
All right.
Just
Well,
letting everybody know that.
let's go to my
Please,
number one.
I'm
How about
sorry,
that?
Craig.
So
I'm
let's
sorry,
go ahead and simmer that on down.
Let's get to an actual good moment here.
Simmer down now.
That was in 1992 in Barcelona. You might call it wasn't actual a discipline that is contested. It was an event. It was a moment. It was an event. It was something that brought the house down. It brought tears. Me and my family, we love the opening ceremonies of the Olympics. It's pageantry. It's pride. Every little tiny place, every town, every country that's in the Olympics get their moment on the screen. You can see their little flag up there. I think this might be part of the reason why I love flags so much. I consider myself an amateur vexillologist. I love flags.
Nice.
I can tell you flags from everywhere in the world.
He can.
That's pretty outstanding.
It's kind of
You need to get a T-shirt that says that I'm an amateur vexillologist.
Yeah.
With like,
You can test me if you want. Send me a flag. I'll look it up.
That is-
Anyway, I love flags, and they do the Parade of Nations, which is awesome. They do that every Olympics, and it's really cool. You
is
see
actually awesome.
them dressing up in their cultural garb with their, and I don't know why the USA always wears berets. It's weird.
it is a little
because
strange.
stupid Ralph Lauren puts it on them every time. That's why.
Why can't we wear like Uncle Sam hats? You know?
Right.
Why
or
can't
a
we
baseball
parade around
cap
with? Yeah,
Yeah.
come on. Anyway,
or cowboy
at
hat.
the opening ceremonies, they
Hashtag
always
Murica.
have. That's
Yeah.
right.
Cowboy hats. Everybody thinks that we wear those anyway. Everybody wears those, right, Camberto?
Of course.
They don't even make them in my size.
Well, I blame Kristen. We should have berets. We shouldn't have berets. Anyway, at the opening ceremonies, they have always a fancy way to light the torch. And in 1992, there has never been a better way after that to light the torch. They passed the torch around the whole stadium. It finally came to a guy, a Paralympic athlete, Antonio Rebollo, a Spanish Paralympic archer. They lit the end of his arrow. He loaded it onto his bow. He fired his bow, and it lit the torch. on top of the stadium.
Yep.
That is cool.
And it
remember
was,
that was cool.
amazing.
That was incredible.
That was the coolest thing I'd ever seen up until that point, and it still remains the best way that anybody has lit the torch. And actually, I printed something out because I wanted to read this. This Antonio Rebollo guy, he was one of 200 archers considered. There were sunrise practices along with wind machines to simulate various weather conditions, and flaming arrows that would often singe their fingers while they were practicing.
Jeez.
He was among 4 finalists that were at the event that day, at the opening ceremonies, and he was chosen just 2 hours prior to the release of his arrow. They didn't let these guys know until 2 hours ahead of time.
When he
Good
woke
Lord.
up that day,
He didn't
was
know.
dreaming to be the archer.
Yeah, he didn't know he was going to make this shot.
Wow.
That's
said-
intense.
What
yeah.
if he missed?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like, what if you got really bad stage fright all of a sudden and you biffed it?
That was one of the things when we were watching this. We're like, what if he misses? Does the light go out?
Right.
I mean,
Does he tag some poor audience member with a flaming arrow?
well, actually, there's a reason. If you look at that video, the arrow did not go directly into the cauldron because they were afraid that if he shot it into the cauldron, it might bounce out of the cauldron and it would hit somebody. A flaming arrow would just bounce and hit a spectator.
Oh,
So what they had to do was they had to get a really crazy trajectory, so it would go past right over the very top of the cauldron and land in a sandbox behind it that you couldn't see.
oh wow.
So he had to get it so close to the top
trickery.
that it would light it. But and it looked like it went in
Yeah.
because it was kind of the optics of the way the camera was shown. But it landed in a sandbox, like the perfect shot.
Oh man.
Wow.
It was
That's
amazing.
incredible.
I still to this day think that's one of the coolest things that ever happened on TV.
That was pretty awesome. I do remember that, and that was really epic. Well played. That was a good number one.
That is
There you
cool.
go.
Good number one.
Thank you, Craig.
That's my number one.
All right, here we go. All right, so just a couple of honorable mentions. The first one was actually, speaking of opening ceremonies, was the Beijing opening ceremonies. Those were the pageantry of the Beijing opening ceremonies was ridiculous. You had some dude running across the entirety of the arena's ceiling. I mean, who does that, right? I mean, it was just so incredible, and there was just so many colors, and it was just so vivid and brilliant. The other one that I had, this is actually more of a personal moment for me. It was the moment that I figured out exactly what was happening in curling.
Hip.
Did you see
Right.
Did you see the guy break his face last week in Canada's some kind of Olympic trials, or they were like,
Oh, no
national-
way.
Dude, he fell so hard, he got a concussion, and they replayed it a lot. And I was like,
They replayed it. He's going to become a
I know,
meme now, poor
I know,
guy.
You know that 2008 opening ceremonies, my wife and I, we both love the Olympic opening ceremonies so much. And that Olympic ceremonies for 2008 happened to be on the exact day we got married
Oh, nice.
and the exact night. So we could not watch the opening ceremonies, which was
Aw.
we were so mad about that.
888.
Yep. We were mad because we couldn't watch the ceremony.
Right. Oh, that is a bummer.
Yeah.
But yeah, because I mean, as a kid, I would watch curling happening. I'm like, what's going on? These guys are doing something in front of this big round thing, and they're bumping other things. Yeah. So I finally figured out. Let's see. This is probably about 6 years ago when I finally figured out what they were doing when they were sweeping in front of the little curling stone, and it was to bend the stone on the ice. And I just thought that was mind shattering. So that was one of my honorable mentions.
I want to try that one day.
There's places in Colorado that
There
do
was a
curling.
place in Fort Collins, and I really want to try it sometime.
Can I give you an opening ceremonies memory, since we're doing opening ceremonies memories?
Have you done your number one yet? That was,
No, that was an honorable mention.
okay. Let him do his, and then we'll do opening ceremony more.
Okay.
Okay, you can. Do
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
Fine. If you're gonna pout about
Who, me?
it.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Okay, so the 2010 Vancouver opening ceremonies. I had never known the greatness of all-you-can-eat sushi. And it just so happened that we went to this place that my friend Isaac J. Ramos recommended
You know what? Never mind.
during
No, go
the
ahead.
opening ceremonies of the Vancouver. And I've only known all-you-can-eat sushi places for 5 years, but I feel like I missed out for the first quarter century of my life.
All you can eat sushi. And you know what? I can get behind that. I love all you can eat sushi. I ate myself sick. Okay, so my actual number one, and this kind of is like a branch off of that last personal win for me with the curling thing. So, in the 2002, the 2002 Salt Lake City Winter Olympics, there was a passage of the torch that went through Colorado. So the torch ran along Colfax Avenue on its way to Salt Lake City. This is important because also before then, my wife had submitted an essay essentially to the Olympic Committee because they were looking for runners for the Olympic torch. So she had submitted an essay talking about her mom and why she should be an Olympic torch runner. Sure enough, she was selected. So I got to stand on Colfax, and I watched her come off of a bus, all decked out in official Olympic torch runner garb. She held a torch, and she got to relay that from the previous runner, and she ran it up half a mile of Colfax Avenue, and she lit the next person's torch, and it kept going. And it was so amazing because the Olympic Committee, they took the torch back from her, and then they sent it back to her mounted and framed. And they're like, we didn't clean it because that is the only way to tell people that the torch was legitimate.
That is really cool.
That is awesome.
It was amazing. Like it was just the coolest thing to watch an actual relay of the torch happening in real time. And folks were just lining Colfax Avenue and watching this whole thing happen. We got to meet Mayor Wellington Webb at the time. That was pretty exciting. But yeah, it was just so cool. Like just to see her go up there, and she still has it hanging up in her house.
That is really
right
cool.
Now. Yeah.
You know somebody that ran with the torch.
Ran with the torch. I have
awesome.
touched the torch from the 2002.
Did you sing the song in your head?
I did.
Yeah, all right.
I did. As I was watching her run, I was like, yeah.
Nice.
That is very cool.
Yeah. So there you go.
Well, that was good. I hope you enjoyed the show. Kristen B128 on Twitter. Thank you for suggesting this topic. We appreciate all the feedback and everything. Don, how can people send us their lists and their Twitter topics?
Well, we're all over the internet now, Craig. We're on Twitter at RankEmUp, Facebook, facebook.com/RankEmUp. We're on Stitcher for the people that have the Android devices in the world. And, of course, YouTube, where you can catch all the archives, youtube.com/RankEmUp, and check out our channel on there, and you can see everything that we've done and how far we've come from our first episode.
We have, really.
And I forget what we did for our first episode, of course. So there you go.
I believe it was cartoons, wasn't it?
Oh, no.
Or video games.
Video games.
Yeah.
Also, it's a tradition that we go to all-you-can-eat sushi places for every opening ceremony of the Olympics. Now, maybe you guys can join us next time. Thank you.
All right, for Lilo, for Don, for Gilberto, I'm Craig. We're going to sit here and watch the torch lighting from Barcelona as we say goodbye, and we thank you for listening to Rank 'em Up.